Well, sorry I'm a little late. This is probably one of the shorter preps we've had, one of the shorter turnarounds. Getting in last night from Baton Rouge and then leaving tomorrow early afternoon for Oxford. So I guess this is the second time Ole Miss and Auburn have played in a ranked game. We did last year for the first time in a long time. And so obviously it's a big game for both clubs. And obviously Oxford on a Saturday is going to be pretty lit up. This Ole Miss team is the only team to beat Alabama at Alabama. As Auburn's coach, of course, I have to get that in. And in their 3 losses, they've lost 3 games by a combined 12 points. Their only loss at home was to Texas A&M, where they led the entire game until the very, very end. This is a matchup of 2 teams that take care of the ball. Both turn the ball over under 10 times. The 3 ball was important to both teams. Ole Miss is shooting it really, really well this year. They probably, when Jalen Brakefield is coming off the bench, that tells you how much, how deep and how talented a roster this Ole Miss team has.
You mentioned the.
Sorry.
All good.
Go ahead. You're loud.
You mentioned the Wednesday to Saturday kind of turn. I think that's the first time in conference play you guys are dealing with that this year. Just what's the key to kind of handling a tight turn?
Well, just a Wednesday to Saturday road. I think we also have another road coming up later on. It's just a lot for the kids. So today it's got to be our work day. It's hard to have a work day after you play a game against LSU, such an athletic team, and we had to exhaust a tremendous amount of energy to withstand their speed and their athleticism and the pace of the play. And yet I got to put them through it a little bit today, just a little bit. And then tomorrow we won't hardly do anything but travel. So a combination of doing enough to get them prepared, but not too much where and then we have it's an early Saturday game. So it's just, we'll be fine. It's just a lot in a short period of time.
Bruce, you said your message this week was you want improvement, wanted to get better. How do you sort of present what you would like to see while still scouting for an opponent on Saturday?
We still have work to do to get better. I think that the reason why, first of all, I don't want to tell you what I think we got better at, because I don't want to necessarily tell my opponents what I think we need to get better at anymore. I'm not at this stage. Let them figure it out. I think we did get better at a few things. I do. I think that my point to the team is, while I was really pleased with a real workmanlike effort, and clearly did not take LSU lightly and respected our opponent once again, we have to play better in certain areas, or we're going to lose, and it will be of our own doing. In the sense that when we get beat, I want to get beat because somebody just is so outstanding, made so many shots, made so many tough plays, and in addition, we did all the things that we really can do and capable of doing and get beat. And so, while I saw there were some improvements. And again, for me, that's the upside of this team, that there is plenty of upside.
Henry and Viva.
Bruce, what does it say about Chad? He's been struggling with his shot, but he's kind of finding ways to impact the game positively. Like yesterday, he set a career high in assists with 7. What does it kind of say about him?
Yeah, it's surprised at his career high of 7 assists. I kind of look at every game as Chad having between 5 or 6 assists every game. Sort of used to that. But you know what, Chad Baker is a lot like a lot of our players. They just find ways. They just care about winning, and they find ways to win. We recognize that that Janai Broom has to score for us to be effective and rebound, but it could mean blocking shots in order to win. Or we know that we rely on Miles to stretch the defense and be such an incredible threat from 3 and anywhere on the floor. But yet it could be his defense or his defensive rebounding. And I mentioned this in a tweet yesterday. It's just like I do leave the game going, man, I wish I could do more for Denver, or more for Miles, or, Cheney really deserves a couple more shots, or, and then and so therefore what I want our guys to do is take advantage of the shots they're getting, right? Because they're playing with other good players, and Chad's a good example. Chad just wants to win.
Bruce, Janai did not have an assist against LSU. Was that them sort of trying to take away that inside-out game from you guys, or just him maybe getting back in the groove of things, or his teammates too?
I think generally speaking, when you go, like for example, when you go into a scout and Janai hears these words, they're going to play you one-on-one in the post. You got to be careful when you say that to him, because he will take you at your word. And nobody's going to play him one-on-one in the post. Do they have a double program? Do they have a rotation? No. LSU doesn't really double and rotate. They don't. Well, they did. Well, yeah. And so there were several times where he got double teamed, where he could have kicked it out. And when you play against a team that he knows is going to double the post, then he'll go into the game sort of understanding that and looking for it. We've got to do a better job of making that adjustment so I can stop teasing him about having triple doubles.
Hey, you brought some really good teams to Ole Miss in the last few years and had some trouble over there. What makes it tough over there?
Well, I mean, what's made it tough is they're good. They're good and they're well coached, they got dudes. Like, these guys have really invested in the NIL now. They have. And, when you say that, you used to say that and say, that used to have a negative connotation. It doesn't anymore. The reason why the SEC, top to bottom, is as strong as the league is right now because we've invested in the league. Coaches, facilities, the SEC New York, and NIL budgets. Top to bottom. We have some people in the middle and the bottom of our league that have as good NIL budgets or better NIL budgets than some of the people at the top of the league. Which is a compliment to the league. That the league and these programs are invested in their programs.
Jerry,
And their student athletes.
Jerry and then Nathan with the last question.
Kind of talking about the league, what would you take away from this January stretch heading into this February stretch of conference play?
What's really interesting, we have Ole Miss. I can tell you our next 3 or 4 games. I honestly couldn't tell you after that. Because I know we've got some things we've got to plan for next week. I couldn't tell you who we play after Florida and when. That's not a knock on the. I couldn't. Honestly, typically, I can't even tell you most of the time who we're playing next week. So, for me, as I look at it, the Tennessee win at home, winning on a road against a ranked Georgia team that hasn't lost at home are big wins. Everything else is sort of, I think we've done what we're supposed to do so far, right? This one Saturday is probably another one that's in the category of Ole Miss ain't gonna lose to hardly anybody at home. So it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to be a separator.
Bruce, you mentioned you were glad to see Turtle not hesitate when he got that open look. He also had that drive to the basket. I mean, have you seen his confidence sort of grow these last few games?
The thing I like about Turtle is he's in there working as hard with the assistant coaches or in the weight room or watching film as any of our starters. And that's the thing that I want to comment. I want to compliment Turtle. I would say he is working like a starter. Now, so is Cheney Johnson as our hardest worker. So is Todd Pettifor as sort of our 6th man. And so, and our guys recognize that. And look, he's a senior. This is his last year. And he's trying to make history and he's trying to build memories. And he's also trying to prepare himself for a career professionally. He can play overseas. So no, it doesn't surprise our players, but it just I think what it does is when you get contributions. Chris Moore got 5 offensive rebounds and played really good defensively. Our guys all feel good about that for Chris. And I think that's why sometimes they're each willing to take less because they want all their teammates to feel good about making a contribution.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, BP.
Thanks, BP.
Coach, we're just